Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar this side and welcome back to Chemistry Universe. This is part 10 of the aldehyde and ketone series. We are doing chemical properties. We've done certain very important reactions like aldol condensation and Cannizzaro reaction. This is part 10 and this is going to be extremely small. And this is called the benzylic acid rearrangement. Now, technically speaking, it's not actually a rearrangement, but some atoms shift their positions. So one can sort of say it's a benzylic acid rearrangement. But anyway, that's what we're going to call it. So let's get on to the video. All right. So benzylic acid rearrangement. So what happens is it is very similar to Cannizzaro. Now, if you remember in Cannizzaro, what happened? I gave you an example of this one, glyoxal. And I asked you what is the product formed in Cannizzaro. So what we did was we attacked this carbonyl carbon with OH minus. This shifted up. You got this OH and H. Then this came down, and as usual in Cannizzaro, there is a hydride transfer. It goes here and this goes here. So we got O minus here, H attached, C double bond OH, and this being a strong acid, this being a strong base, there will be a proton exchange, and you will get this is OH and this as O minus. So this is what we got with glyoxal. So Cannizzaro, so benzylic acid is very similar to this kind of a Cannizzaro. The only difference being that instead of H you have pH. So this reaction is similar to Cannizzaro reaction, but it occurs in 1,2 diketones. So similar to glyoxal, if I have this, you have two benzene rings, two phenyl groups on the carbonyl carbon, and then I react them with OH minus. The same thing will happen as happened in glyoxal. One of the carbons would become the OH and both the benzene rings will be attached to that, and the other will become O minus. And the mechanism is very similar to Cannizzaro. So you had, this is called benzyl, and in the product, if you protonate this CO minus as COH, it will become benzylic acid. So this is benzyl, and treated with OH minus, it's a reversible step. And this attacks here and the pi bond goes here and you get something like this. And then the O minus comes back in the second step and the phenyl group moves and moves to the adjacent carbon and the pi bond shifts to O and you will get this. This is also reversible. And then in step 3, the irreversible step happens where the strong acid COH, this one, will give the proton to this one. So you will have intramolecular proton exchange, and this is irreversible because the reaction is going from a strong acid and a strong base. So the proton is being transferred from there. And once you protonate the CO minus, you get benzylic acid. So this is what happens in the case of benzylic acid rearrangement. But if the two phenyl groups are different, then what happens is that the one which is releasing groups tends to shift. That means again here the rate determining step is the shifting of the phenyl group. So the more releasing groups you have, more electron rich that benzene ring is, and more easily it can leave and attack simultaneously. It will be a very good attacking group on the carbonyl carbon. So this is what happens when you have different kind of phenyl groups. So basically what happens is that if you have two phenyl groups which are different, then the one which has a releasing group migrates and its carbonyl carbon gets oxidized. So for example, if you have this, one has methyl group, as you can see, and that too it's in the ortho position. So its hyperconjugation is going to make this carbon negative charged, and this is attached to the C14 carbon. So what do you think will happen? The OH minus will attack here or here. Now, even though the OH minus technically should attack here, but that is not the RDS. So the OH minus will attack here, and this phenyl group will shift to this one. This will become the alcohol, and this will become the acid part. So you will be getting something like this. Okay. Even though I've shifted, I've shown this carbon as this carbon. So this is the product you get. And that itself is the end of benzylic acid rearrangement. As I said, it's a pretty short video. And now you can yourself try and figure out what will happen if I have a nitro group and a normal phenyl group and an OMe group, etc., etc. So you can figure that all out. And remember, shifting also depends on steric hindrance. So if you have, let's say, two benzene rings attached to two OMe's, one para, one ortho, then the para would prefer to shift better because the ortho is sterically constrained. So that also should be a factor that one should consider. So with that, this is Kalyan Kumar signing off. Have a great and wonderful day, and thank you for watching this.